They called it the plastic helicopter. In the 1980s, the world of attack helicopters was dominated by flying tanks. The Americans had the heavy-hitting Apache. The Soviets had the terrifying flying fortress, the Hind. These were machines built to absorb punishment and deliver massive destruction. Then there was Italy. They built something different. It was small, it was light. Critics questioned its power-to-weight ratio and survivability. In the military press, it was often dismissed as a scooter compared to the American muscle cars. But the critics were missing the point. Italy didn't need a tank. They needed a sniper. And over 4 decades, this plastic scooter survived wars, evolved through impossible odds, and transformed into one of the most agile attack helicopters in the sky. This is the story of the Agusta A129 Mangusta, the mongoose. It holds the distinction of being the first purpose-built modern attack helicopter designed and built entirely in Europe. But its birth wasn't easy. It was a machine born out of necessity, caught between the budget constraints of the Italian government and the strategic realities of the Cold War. To understand why this aircraft exists, we have to understand the neighborhood. Italy wasn't preparing to fight on the flat plains of Germany or the deserts of the Middle East. They were preparing to fight in the Alps. They needed an aircraft that could maneuver through mountain passes where heavier helicopters would face performance limits. For years, it was an underdog. It lacked a cannon. It lacked heavy armor. But through real combat deployments and continuous engineering evolution, it shed its reputation as a lightweight. Today, we're looking at the evolution of Italy's tank hunter, how it developed from a specialized mountain defender into a modern multi-role attack platform. The year is 1972. The Cold War is at its height. NATO planners feared massive armored offensives across Europe. Thousands of Soviet tanks pushing west. For West Germany and the United States, the answer was heavy attack helicopters designed to launch anti-tank missiles from covered positions. But Italy had a different battlefield. Mountain passes, thin air, limited maneuver space. Operating heavy helicopters at altitude presents real aerodynamic challenges. Lift decreases, engines lose efficiency, payload margins shrink. Italy needed a mountain goat, not a buffalo. The Italian army wanted something specific. It had to be compact enough to hide behind ridgelines, light enough to operate from improvised forward bases, and capable of carrying TOW anti-tank missiles. Agusta, Italy's leading helicopter manufacturer, took the challenge. They had built American designs under license before, but building a dedicated attack helicopter from scratch was something entirely different. Early ideas included modifying utility helicopters, but engineers quickly realized those airframes were not survivable in combat. They needed a purpose-built tandem cockpit, a narrow silhouette, a dedicated combat airframe. The A129 first flew in September 1983. It looked sleek, fast, focused. But critics immediately focused on one issue: the engines. To keep weight down, Agusta selected twin Rolls-Royce GEM turboshaft engines. Modest power compared to heavier American designs. This fed the plastic helicopter narrative. But while critics focused on horsepower, they missed the revolution happening inside the cockpit. The A129 was among the first attack helicopters to adopt an integrated digital avionics data bus, the IMS, or Integrated Multiplex System. This reduced pilot workload and improved mission coordination. Its primary weapon was the BGM-71 TOW missile. The concept fit Italian doctrine perfectly. Pop up from terrain, fire, reposition. It relied on concealment, mobility, and precision rather than armor. But then the Cold War ended. The Soviet tanks never came. The A129 suddenly looked like a specialized weapon without a mission. Until Somalia. In 1993, Italy deployed A129 helicopters during operations in Somalia. This environment was the opposite of the Alps. Urban terrain, heat, dust, irregular forces. The aircraft faced ambush scenarios, convoy support missions, and unpredictable threats. Agility became its advantage. In tight urban environments, compact size and maneuverability allowed it to operate close to ground forces. But a critical limitation emerged. It lacked a cannon. Pilots relied heavily on missiles and rockets for support missions. Effective, but not always practical. The deployment demonstrated that agility and mission focus could compensate for size and armor, and it produced a clear message from pilots. The aircraft needed a gun. What truly separated the Mangusta wasn't just engineering, it was how pilots described it. Unlike heavier attack helicopters, the A129 didn't feel like a flying tank. It felt alive. Pilots consistently reported that the helicopter responded instantly to control input. In tight terrain, that mattered more than armor thickness. Where larger aircraft required planning and spacing, the Mangusta could weave through ridgelines, urban gaps, and narrow valleys with precision. Energy management became its greatest weapon. Climb, strike, disappear. Instead of absorbing hits, the aircraft avoided exposure entirely. This shaped Italian doctrine. Pilots were trained not to dominate the battlefield, but to manipulate it. Ambush angles, short exposure windows, rapid repositioning. The Mangusta wasn't designed to win brute force engagements. It was designed to control the moment of contact. And in combat aviation, that often decides survival. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, the A129 underwent major evolution. First, a chin-mounted 20mm cannon. Now the helicopter could engage infantry, vehicles, and close-range targets directly. Second, rotor and transmission upgrades. More lift, better stability, increased payload capacity. Third, engine improvements. Power-to-weight ratios improved significantly. Fourth, new avionics, targeting systems, and survivability enhancements. The aircraft evolved from a niche anti-tank platform into a multi-role attack helicopter. Turkey later developed the T129 Attack based on the same design, with upgraded avionics and mission systems. The platform had matured. It wasn't just a missile carrier anymore. It was a true combat helicopter. The Mangusta also anticipated a shift in warfare that is only becoming clearer today. Heavy helicopters remain powerful, but they are expensive, complex, and harder to deploy. Modern conflicts increasingly favor mobility, precision, and rapid response. Mountain operations, urban support, special forces escort, convoy protection. These missions reward speed and agility more than raw armor. Across NATO, interest in lighter, modular attack helicopters has grown again. Not as replacements for heavy gunships, but as complementary tools. The Mangusta proved that a helicopter doesn't need to be massive to be lethal. It needs to be positioned correctly, equipped correctly, and used for the mission it was built for. That lesson is shaping the next generation of European rotorcraft, including the AW249 that will replace it. What makes the Mangusta remarkable isn't just that it survived, it's that it did so quietly. No massive export campaigns, no media spotlight, no dramatic reinvention, just steady upgrades, real deployments, and pilots who trusted the aircraft more with every iteration. While larger programs chased revolutionary concepts, the Mangusta followed a different path: evolution through use. Refine the airframe, improve the sensors, strengthen the survivability. Year after year, mission after mission. That kind of progress rarely makes headlines, but it's exactly what keeps an aircraft relevant long enough to become a legacy. The A129 Mangusta is a lesson in engineering persistence. It was designed for a war that never happened, but instead of abandoning it, Italy refined it. They adapted it to real missions. They listened to pilots. They evolved the airframe. The result was a helicopter that proved agility, precision, and mission clarity can matter as much as armor and raw power. The Mangusta is now approaching retirement, with the AW249 set to replace it. But its legacy remains. It proved Europe could design and field a modern attack helicopter, built for its own battlefield realities. Not a flying tank, a precision hunter. If you enjoyed this deep dive into aviation history, make sure to like and subscribe. What do you think? Was Italy right to develop its own attack helicopter? Or should it have adopted an existing heavy design? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.